The studio lights burned bright, casting long shadows across the polished stage floor. Cameras rolled, microphones hummed, and millions of Americans tuned in to watch what was promised to be a fiery debate. At the center of it all stood Congressman Adam Schiff, calm on the surface, but inwardly brimming with a smug confidence. This was his stage, his moment. He had rehearsed every line, sharpened every attack. And his target was none other than Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi walked onto the stage with the quiet confidence of someone who had nothing to prove. A decorated veteran, a woman who had seen the harshest realities of war, she carried herself with a grace that instantly contrasted Schiff's over-polished bravado. While Schiff fidgeted with his notes, Tulsi simply stood tall, her eyes steady, waiting. The air between them seemed to tighten, as though the studio itself sensed the storm that was about to break. The moderator barely finished the first question before Schiff launched his offensive. He pointed fingers, raised his voice, and accused Tulsi of disloyalty, of playing into the hands of America's enemies. Each word dripped with contempt, each accusation crafted to humiliate her in front of the nation. The audience shifted uncomfortably, sensing the cruelty behind his tone. Tulsi did not flinch. She let him speak, let him pour every ounce of venom he had stored. Then, when the silence fell, she responded with the calm strength of someone who had lived through far worse. "Congressman," she began, her voice measured, "you talk about patriotism, but I've worn the uniform. I've stood alongside brothers and sisters in arms who gave everything for this country. And I'll tell you this, patriotism isn't about parroting party lines or tearing down those who dare to question the establishment. It's about serving the people, even when it means standing alone." The studio fell silent. Schiff tried to interrupt, but Tulsi's words carried a weight that silenced even his sharpest barbs. She spoke not with anger, but with a kind of moral clarity that pierced through the noise. She reminded the audience of her tours of duty, the sacrifices of her fellow soldiers, and her commitment to truth even when it came at great personal cost. Schiff attempted to recover, raising his voice louder, his face tightening with frustration. But the more he spoke, the hollower his words sounded. He relied on rehearsed lines, while Tulsi drew from lived experience. The contrast was undeniable, and the audience began to see it. At one point, Schiff sneered, "You sound more like our enemies than an American leader." Tulsi's eyes locked onto his. "The real enemy," she said firmly, "is the corruption that puts politics above people. The real enemy is arrogance that dismisses the voices of those who serve, who sacrifice, who struggle every day. If telling the truth makes me an enemy to the political elite, then so be it. I'll side with the people every single time." The crowd erupted.